1 year ago today, I had brain surgery. For those of you who might go through something similar, I think today I'm going to kind of describe the memory of that day. It's very vague, but it's there. I remember waking up, the night before was just, my mom came and she came to watch the kids, and they were all kind of quiet, and everybody was quiet and trying to, we were trying to get through the night, and woke up very early that morning, and my husband and he drove me to the hospital, and we sat in the waiting room. I had surgery for the internal EEGs before, so things were semi-familiar, but I knew this was going to be very different. And I remember I had to get dressed into, the little smock, and then, you're sitting there and you're feeling really bare, and you're feeling, you just got this little smock on, and then you've got a blanket, and you're sitting there with the weird socks, and you're like, why do they think these socks are comfortable? And those are the things that are running through your head. And my husband was sitting there across from me, and I remember we didn't really know what to say. We kind of just, we sat there, and he looked at me and he said, he's like, babe, this is gonna be okay. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I remember the anesthesiologist, he came in, and they're very nice. He came in, and he might have been the same guy I'd met before. Memory's a little, but he started the IV, and basically to knock me out soon, and getting everything situated. And my husband just kind of watched, and he's a strong man, because I didn't see any fear. He kept it all in if he had any, because I know it was probably all over my face. And I remember they left the room, and we both looked at each other, and I know it's a year later, but I cried a little bit. And he held me, and he gave me a hug, and he said, it's gonna be okay. And they wheeled me off, and that's when stuff starts kicking in, and I don't remember too much after that. I remember waking up. I remember my room, and not really being able to get up too much at first, and then, the room's dark because, everything, bright lights would have been too much. And my husband was there. And they come in and check on you every half hour or so, because, they want to make sure you're okay. So sleep is sort of like, are you getting it or are you not getting it? And it was just a weird couple of days. And then I remember finally getting up, getting dressed. That's what felt so much better, is being in my own clothes. And I don't know why I didn't do it at the beginning. Well, probably because I felt a little crazy. But I needed help. My husband had to help me. Make sure she doesn't fall over or anything crazy like that. And I think it was 3 days I stayed in the hospital, and then I got to go home or 3 nights I stayed, I think, and then I got to go home. And I remember walking out, and they asked me if I wanted, they were trying to put me in a wheelchair, and I couldn't do it. I had to walk, I had to move, I So I got up and my husband walked me down to the opening of the hospital. The car was in the parking lot, or the car was in the parking garage, kind of a little ways away. So I remember him saying, okay, do you want to come with me, or should I get the car? He was kind of his own version of frantic, which wouldn't seem frantic to anyone, but I've been with him for 12 years now. So I know that there was some stirring going on in his brain as he saw me just sort of, I felt like half of myself for that day. Coming out so I decided I wanted to sit outside, and everything was so bright. And you see other patients around you, and different wrappings in different places, and you know that everybody's had something done, and you're sitting there, and I'm just thinking about my head, and I'm like, well, everything still looks normal. Everything's still the same color, I think. And my husband pulled up, and he helped me get in the car. He didn't want me doing anything by myself, but I felt like I just needed to. Like, that was the only thing that was going to make me feel better. And so I got in the car, and we rode home. And I got home. I'm not remembering a ton, but my son was in kindergarten, and my mom was there, so I know my son was home by the time we got home. And then my girls probably came home a little bit after that, and they wanted their mom back, and everybody was excited to see me. And I don't, like, not all of it's clear to me remembering it. But I had my pup there, and he just came up, and I remember having your dog or your cat or whatever, you need one. Oh, come on, just go get yourself a lizard. If you're going through a time like this, you need something that is reading your mind more than everything else. And the next month was rough. I don't remember a ton, like, clearly. Like, I remember just like you would remember a year ago, but then stuff was even a little fuzzier than that. And so I had my first post-surgery seizure. It was a week or a couple weeks after surgery. My husband had taken a whole month off work, and his work worked with him amazing. He's military, and they were like, you do not come back. We do not want to see you until she is 100%. So that tells you who he works for and what they did for us. And it was amazing. And it was just very quiet times. I took lots of naps. I couldn't stay through a whole day, like, open awake. But I got up, and we walked to school to walk my son home, and those were all things that are important. Like, keep yourself moving. Don't let it get to you too much. Yeah, things are going to be uncomfortable, and things are going to be hazy, and things aren't going to be clear, but you need to try and keep yourself moving. And yes, the naps were a must. Like, there was no way I would have gotten through the day. And but going back, I know this is all over the place, but going back, that first seizure I had, I remember it being the weirdest thing I'd ever felt. It was, because when you have a seizure, your whole body is stiff, and you can't move. Your whole body is just like, the best way to describe it is every muscle in your body goes completely tense. Some people do have convulsions. I didn't in my seizures, and that was a normal occurrence for me. I knew what that felt like. This was complete opposite. I felt like jello. I remember being on the couch talking to my husband, and all of a sudden it happened. and everything in my eyesight was going seizure, seizure, seizure. You know, like I knew it was happening. Like all of a sudden everything took that far away look, and some clouds sort of come over your eyesight, and maybe I should describe my seizures, but some clouds come over your eyesight. There's usual things you hear. It's all kind of normal stuff, and but my body went limp, and I'd never felt anything like that. And you know, we had to call my doctor the next day, and we went through that, and that was seizure number 1, and they considered a seizure, but it didn't feel right to me, so it almost kind of felt like my body's like, hey, let's get that last one out. And then slowly I had, I believe it was 2 more after that, but they weren't in the same range as before. They weren't like every 2 weeks like my usual like schedule was. Every 2 weeks you have a little handful of seizures, and that's what it was like for me. And I came down to having like, I think it was a total of 3 post brain surgery, and that was between April and July. And July I had my last seizure, and it was a rough day, but I had some great doctors, and they worked with me, and they put me on some new medications, and they worked with my old ones, and I am at a really great point. But that month is hazy to me, and it's crazy to me that 1 year ago today, I do remember that hospital room. I do remember I had to take the quilt my grandma made me. She passed away that year before. And I remember something she said to me before it all. She was going through cancer, and she was going through some stuff. And you know, you look at that and you think, oh my gosh, it must be horrible. She was so strong, and like to see that, and she looked at me and she goes, I can't believe you're going to be doing all this. This was before all my testing and stuff. She said, Jessica, you are so brave. And I will always hold that in my heart, what she said, because you're always going to think you're a wimp through all of this. Don't think you're a wimp for a second. Medically, people are thrown a million things. And yes, you're going to handle it one way or the other way, but there's no right way. Don't be too hard on yourself. Know that, you know, take it one step at a time, one day at a time. And yes, taking that elevator down without the wheelchair, that was big for me. That made me feel better. And you find those things, those simple things that do make you feel better. And you stick to the rules as good as you can. You know, you need to get better. And I pray for all of you, if you're going through something like this or like that you find the doctor and the team to work with you. I was blessed with University of Utah Neurology. They were amazing. And I am now almost 9 months seizure-free next week. 9 months. I went through 12 years. 12 years of seizures, and 9 months seizure-free. So I know this is a long video and it's kind of jumbled as usual, but if you have any questions about something like this, like, just know that, like, you can always message me in any way, and know that you can do this. And all of my posts, they've seemed about, you know, me, and I promise you that's not what I meant with this. What I meant was to reach that one person who may be going through something similar and may need that support and may just need to feel a little more secure knowing someone else went through it. And I am here today, and all is good. I know this was all over the place, and I know this is my longest video, but it's 1 year ago today that I had my big surgery. So, I hope that this can help someone, or just anyone. I know you're out there somewhere, somebody. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'm going to sit and contemplate a little bit this past year, and I'm going to take it easy today because I think I sort of earned it. I sort of deserve it. And I want to thank my family. I want to thank University of Utah, their team. My doctors were amazing. Neurologists, amazing. I couldn't have asked for something better. And there was this really strong doctor in when we were in Germany, and she was the one who got us here. And Dr. Sadarsky. Sorry, I have to say her name. She got us here, and she's the reason I had surgery. And then I had Dr. Romport do the most amazing surgery and get me to this point. And I had Dr. Richards, and she was there for me through the whole thing. She was there through me for the whole thing as well. And she got me with my medication to the point where I am now, and I am seizure free for 9 months. So I want to thank that team, and thank you all, and I hope that this helps somebody out there. Everyone have a great day. I know not everyone's gonna watch the whole video, but it's okay. Maybe you'll see the part you need to see. And have a wonderful day. Bye.